Welcome back to Learning Made Fun, your ultimate destination for IT training content. Today, get ready to learn about Linux, a couple of helpful commands. Now, whether you're a newcomer or a longtime subscriber, I've got some exciting and informative content lined up just for you. So grab those snacks, hit that like and subscribe button, and let's jump right into it, my friends. Great, so let's get started. Today, we're going to start with the ls command. We've used this many times. This is going to list what we have available on this folder. So what I want to do is actually create a file. So we're going to say nano, and we're going to call this quote.txt. And in here, we're going to start a little poem. We're going to say, just thinking about everything. How huge it all feels. It's a small part of something larger. Let's see, just thinking about everything I have been through and how huge it all feels. The fact is that, let's spell this correctly. It is just a smaller part of something larger. Okay, so now we're going to use Control X and Control Y. We're going to get out of here, and now let's look at that file. There it is, quote.txt, and then let's use the cat command. Just look at everything we just wrote, and there it is. Just thinking about everything I've been through and how it all feels. The fact is that it is just a small part of something larger. So now that we have something, maybe at a later point in time, you want to append, you want to add to this. All right, so we can do that by using the echo command. So we're going to say echo, and then let's use the quotation mark, makes it, quotation marks, makes it seem more manageable. And then we're going to pipe it using the greater than symbol, and the file, since we're appending it, so that pipe, I'm sorry, not a pipe, that greater than is pushing everything into that file, the quote.txt. It's going to print on it, it's going to append to it. All right, so now let's do the cat command again, and let's look at the same file as before. And there it is. We just appended the file. We just added another line. So let's use clear and move on to our next set of commands. And sometimes you want to look at a log, but not specifically the entire log. So for example, if we use the cat and we went into var log, and let's just say that we want to look at the Ubuntu-Advantage log. So we would say cat var log and the Ubuntu-Advantage log, and notice how big this is. All right, so what if instead of that we said tail? So we're going to use the tail command, var log, I forgot the name of the file, so let's just do this. Let's go up on the up arrow, and instead of cat, we're going to use the tail command, tail, and we're still looking for that same log, but this time, that was a little messy. Let's do this. Let's clear, and let's use the up arrow, and that was the tail, and then we're going to look at that same log, and this time we only see the last 10 lines, as opposed to, instead of tail, we had the cat command that showed us the entire log. Big difference. I'm going to say, I'm going to make a new file. I'm going to call it new file. So touch new file, and if I do an ls, there's my new file, right? And maybe I wasn't sure, or I wasn't paying attention where or what folder or subfolder I was in when I did that, and it didn't show up. Here I'm in the top level so I can see it. But what if I didn't? then I can use the locate command. So I could say locate new file. Now, if you see that locate new file tells you that it can't find it, oh, it's not installed, so let's say install mlocate. All right, so let's clear, and once again, let's say locate new file, and it shows me right away. But if it doesn't, because right now I just happen to be on the top level, but what if, let's say that we moved that file, so I'm gonna say mv move new file into my home folder, and it's no longer on the top level. I know that it's in my home folder. Let's just double check home, and there it is. But when I'm at the top level, if I was to say locate new file, it still thinks that it's on the top level. It doesn't know that I moved it when I did. So in this case, I have to update the database, right? And then if I do an ls again, we can see that it's not there. And if I do a locate new file, now it no longer tells me that it's on the top level. Now it shows me the correct place. So let's go into, let's do this once again, just to make sure we get it. So we're going to say touch noe.txt, there it is, and we're going to move that. Well, at first, let's say locate noe.txt, and it knows nothing. It doesn't see it at all. So if I do the update database, and then I do the locate noe.txt, there, it shows me that it's on the top level. Now let's trick it. We're going to say move noe.txt, and this one is going to get moved into the home folder as well. I no longer see it. I'm going to say locate noe.txt, and it still thinks that it's on the top level. So when you're looking for something that you forgot where you put it, if you don't see it right away, if you get no output or the incorrect one, then don't forget to say update the database, db, and then try again. So now I can say locate noe.txt, and it no longer says it's on the top level, but it actually shows me that it was moved into the home directory. Now let's take a closer look at actually let's clear the screen a little bit, and we have our quote.txt. Once again, we're going to do the cat command, quote.txt. All right, so I'm going to look for just thinking. Now, the reason why I want to do this, let's say that you need to find something specific, a word inside of the file itself. So I could use the grep command, and for that I can say grep c1. Now if I know exactly what I'm looking for, let's just say just. Let's just use the one word, just. And then I know it was in my quote file, and I found one instance, right? So what about if I use grep -ir, so I don't have to worry about it being case sensitive or not, and I want the word just, and it's on my top level, so let's just see if it finds it. And these are all the examples of the word just that it found. I'm going to use the command C. Now you can be a little bit more specific. So right now I am in the root level, so let's clear, and if I want to just search for that one word in the root level, once again I can say grep -ir, the word just, and I'm just going to say root, and these are all the examples of that word that it's finding in the root folder. So grep is a good way to find a word, all the instances of it, and if I just wanted to find, let's see, how shall I do this? Grep, this should work, -c1 just, for goodness sake, just, and I know that it's in my quote file, there. It's just going to find specifically the word, not in every instance, but because I defined where I want it to look, in this case, the quote.txt, it's going to show me that one word. Now notice that it found the lowercase. What if I wanted to find the uppercase? And I say JUST inside of quote.txt. Grep, comma, a capital, and then inside of this file, there it is. Now it found the one that was capital as opposed to the one that was the lowercase. Great, so we're making great progress. Let's clear the screen. Let's move on to something else. I've been creating files without any regard to how much space I have available. So maybe I could do a df-h, and this is going to tell me how much space I have available, right? So this will tell me, depending on what disk I'm working on, it'll tell me how much I've used, how big it is, how much is available, and one of the things you want to look out for is you want to make sure that you're not reaching the 80% or above, especially on your boot drive, so that you're not having any issues. So looks like we're in pretty good shape. I'm going to clear this up, and moving on. Now I want to do an executable file. So let's open up Nano, and we're going to say test txt, and in here we're going to create our first, let's see, bin bash, and then this is a simple bash script, and it's going to do echo hello. This is my first bash script. Something simple. Okay, so now we're going to say Control X and Control Y, and the name was called test.txt. I want to make sure that I can execute it with my user, so I can say chmod, and I want to add the executable, and the file was called test.txt. Okay, and then I can do a long listing just to make sure that my user does have that. So I look for the test, and here I have the read, write, and execute permissions. And now let's clear this up, and the name of the file was test.txt, and I want to run it, so I'm going to say test.txt, and there it is. We just ran and created our first bash file, and it did exactly what it was supposed to. It echoed, hello, this is my first bash script. Of course I can't spell. So anyway, that's going to conclude today's lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.